If I told you that most people trying to build muscle are doing too much, you'd probably think I am making excuses. After all, fitness culture teaches the exact opposite. Wake up early, train 6 days a week, push harder, do more cardio, add more exercises. Never skip a workout, and if you are not completely exhausted by the end of the day, apparently you are not working hard enough. But here is the strange thing. The people who burn out aren't usually the lazy ones. They're often the most motivated, the ones trying to do everything. Meanwhile, there's another group quietly making progress year after year. They train fewer days. They spend less time in the gym. They don't destroy themselves with endless cardio. And somehow, they keep getting bigger, stronger, and leaner. So, what is going on? Today, I am going to show you why building muscle might have less to do with doing more, and more to do with knowing what to ignore. Most beginners believe muscle growth works like a video game. If one workout is good, 2 must be better. If 3 exercises work, 10 must work even faster. If training 3 days a week builds muscle, then 6 days should build twice as much. Sounds logical. The problem is that your body doesn't work that way. Muscles don't grow because you punish them. They grow because they recover from the punishment. That is a huge difference. Training is only the signal. Recovery is where the actual growth happens. Think about it like digging a hole. Every workout digs the hole deeper. Recovery fills it back in and builds it stronger than before. But if you keep digging before your body finishes recovering, you are not getting ahead. You are just creating more fatigue. And that is exactly where most people get stuck. They confuse effort with progress. This is the part that makes fitness influencers angry. You do not need to train every day to build an impressive physique. In fact, for most people, training 3 days a week is enough. Not because training more is impossible, because training consistently matters more than training constantly. Imagine 2 people. The first person trains 6 days every week. For the first month, they're fired up. Month 2, motivation starts dropping. Month 3, they're skipping sessions. By month 4, they've disappeared completely. The second person trains 3 days every week. No burnout, no dread, no complicated schedule. Just consistent effort. Fast forward 2 years. Who do you think built more muscle? The person who went all out for 3 months? Or the person who kept showing up for 2 years? Muscle rewards consistency far more than intensity. The body doesn't care how motivated you were in January. It responds to what you do repeatedly. One of the funniest things you'll see in fitness is someone doing 15 different exercises to train one muscle group. A little bit of this, a little bit of that. Some cable variation they saw online. Another variation they saw 3 days later. Before long, their workout looks like a scavenger hunt. Here is the truth. Your body doesn't care how creative your workout is. It cares about tension, progressive overload, getting stronger over time. That is why compound movements are so powerful. A single exercise trains multiple muscle groups at once. Pull-ups hit your back, arms and grip. Dips challenge your chest, shoulders, and triceps. Squats train much of your lower body in one movement. Rows build thickness through your back and arms. Push-ups remain one of the most effective upper body exercises ever created. Simple, effective, proven. You don't need 100 exercises. You need a handful that you can get consistently stronger at. Let me ask you something. Have you ever seen someone finish a set and then immediately jump back into the next one? 30 seconds later. They're breathing hard. They're exhausted. They're dripping sweat, and they think that is productive. But being tired isn't the same thing as building muscle. If your goal is muscle growth and strength, rushing every set can actually hurt your performance. Because when you are still fatigued, you can't produce the same level of effort. You lift less. You perform fewer reps, and your progress slows down. Sometimes the smartest thing you can do is rest longer. Not because you are lazy, because you are preparing to attack the next set properly. Building muscle isn't a race. The goal isn't to finish the workout as quickly as possible. The goal is to give your muscles a reason to adapt. Fitness culture has a strange obsession with doing more sets, more exercises, more volume, but there comes a point where more stops helping. Imagine trying to water a plant. A little water helps it grow. Too much water drowns it. Training works the same way. Your muscles need enough work to stimulate growth. But after a certain point, you are simply creating extra fatigue. And fatigue is expensive. It makes recovery harder. It makes future workouts worse. And it increases the chances of quitting altogether. The goal isn't to see how much punishment you can survive. The goal is to do the amount that produces results and then stop. That is harder than it sounds. Because your ego always wants one more set, one more exercise, one more reason to feel productive. Discipline is knowing when enough is enough. For some reason, people think fat loss only counts if they're suffering, if they're not gasping for air, if their legs aren't burning, if they don't feel like collapsing afterward. Then it doesn't count. But some of the healthiest people on the planet do something much simpler. They walk every day. That is it. No dramatic finish. No heroic soundtrack. Just movement. Walking is easy to recover from, easy to stick with, easy to make part of your life. And that is exactly why it works. The best form of cardio isn't the one that leaves you destroyed. It is the one you'll still be doing 6 months from now. Now let's talk about the thing most people ignore: sleep, not supplements. Not pre-workout, not secret training techniques. Sleep. Because the gym doesn't build muscle. The gym creates the reason to build muscle. The actual construction happens later, when you are asleep, while you are lying in bed doing absolutely nothing. That is the funny part. The most productive muscle-building activity you'll do all day looks completely unproductive. You aren't lifting weights. You aren't counting calories. You aren't grinding. You are sleeping. And yet your body is repairing tissue, supporting recovery, and preparing for future growth. Cut your sleep short consistently, and everything becomes harder. Recovery suffers. Performance drops. Energy decreases. Progress slows. Many people spend hours trying to optimize tiny details while ignoring the one thing that affects everything else. That is like upgrading the wheels on a car with no engine. So let's compare two approaches. Approach number 1. Train almost every day. Add endless exercises. Do exhausting cardio. Chase fatigue. Constantly look for more. Approach number 2. Train a few times per week. Focus on the fundamentals. Walk daily. Recover properly. Sleep enough. Repeat for years. One feels harder. The other is harder to trust because it requires patience. And patience is something most people struggle with. But building muscle was never supposed to be about doing the most. It is about doing what works, over and over again, for long enough that the results become impossible to ignore. So if you've been trying to outwork everyone else, maybe it is time to stop asking, how much more can I do? And start asking, what is the least I need to do to keep progressing? Because that answer might be the fastest path to the physique you are chasing. If you enjoyed this video, subscribe for more fitness content that cuts through the noise and focuses on what actually works. See you in the next one.